Beauty Revolution here, and I will be continuing my In Defense of series with defending skinny women today. Now, a lot of you might be scratching your heads thinking, what do skinny women need to be defended of? They've got everything, right? A lot of people want thin privilege. Now, if you refer to my last video of my In Defense of series, where I defend thick women, I'll tell you that, first of all, I don't believe like everybody needs to fit a certain type. And then I also do not believe that there's only one form of privilege, right? So that being said, I will tell you that a lot of people love to hate skinny women. We've all seen it growing up. We've all seen how people will literally tear down women just for being thin. But the crazy thing about it is we literally see people injecting themselves with genetic GLP-1, okay? And so the psychology is that if you talk about something enough, there's a good chance that you are really bothered by it because you're jealous or that's an insecurity of yours. Now, I know one thing that people love to say about skinny women, okay? And even when I was at my smallest, this was like the number one thing people love to say to thin women is, where is your butt? Girl, you don't have no ass. Like, where are, like your hips? Where is your shape, And for some people, their hips never disappear. Such as myself, even getting really thin. And some people they gain more weight because they're like, I feel insecure being thin. And a lot of people that I know who are naturally thin, they want to gain weight because they want the bum. They want to stop people from saying, oh, girl, you're just skin and bones and Skeletor, and if she's dancing, they'll say, oh, she's just shaking her bones. And there are just as much insults for thin women as there are for bigger women. Okay. It's like you just can't win, right? I know there's a lot of thinner women who want to gain weight, for those reasons. And I just feel like if you are naturally thin, you look the best naturally thin. And I get it. Like, some people look very, very thin to the point where they do sometimes look sick. But I always found that with women who were naturally thin, they were literally dieting and doing things like that when their metabolism was already like race car fast, and they really didn't need to do as much as some other people do to lose weight, right? And it would start getting unhealthy because they had more to lose from doing things like that, right? Now, if you look at my last video where I speak about thick women, you'll know I just feel like people look good in their certain size, right? So I've seen thinner women gain the weight, and a lot of the times the weight just doesn't distribute the way that they were probably thinking that it would based on their body shapes, right? A lot of their weight might get gained in the middle, in their stomachs and in their backs or in their arms. And then they have like skinny legs and then like a bigger upper half, which I'm not speaking against people who have body types like that. But I do think that in order to feel the most comfortable in your skin, you should learn what your metabolism is like, okay? So we all have different hormonal body types. I definitely recommend that you go and you look into the different hormone types. So I have an ovary type, for example, right? So if I gain weight, it's all going to my hips, it's all going to my legs and my bum, okay? And for some people, when they gain weight, it's going to distribute to other places, right? And it can be much more dangerous for some than it is for others. For example, if you are somebody and all of your weight goes to your stomach, then you are going to have more of a toxic load on your body, okay? If you have the ovary body type, you're going to be needing to watch what you eat, especially soy products. And there are a lot of products that are estrogen disruptors because you have an abundance of estrogen. So you really have to be careful of that, right? Because it can get overboard. So in saying that, what I'm saying is that we should really start listening to our bodies and seeing what our unique bodies want. Not every body wants to gain 20 to 30 pounds for aesthetics, okay? Not every body wants to lose like a significant amount of weight to the point where you're looking sunken in and sick because, like I was just saying, the fat distributes in different places on different people. What I've noticed with people who are naturally skinny is a lot of times when you look at their face, the fat is distributed correctly in their face. So they don't have that sunken in look unless they're dealing with some ED issues, okay? But if you're somebody who was bigger or naturally just kind of like mid-sized, or you have more of like a voluptuous type of appearance, the fat is going to distribute well for you. And if you lose too much weight, then you're going to get this sunken in look and you're going to see it in your face. Have you seen bodybuilders? They literally age so much, especially the women, because of the loss of fat. Women need fat. We need muscle too, but we need fat. And because of our hormonal types, okay, the fat is going to distribute differently. So my whole point in saying this is that scientifically or biologically, you really should adjust your weight to your body type, okay? Not everyone is going to look the same. So people who are naturally skinny look good thin, okay? They look the best at the size that they are at, or the ballpark size. So everybody has like a ballpark size where, you know, you go a little bit too much over here, then it's looking, you know, if you go a little bit too much the other way, it's looking, you know, like we should get into symbiosis, if you will, with our bodies, right? That's why, like in my last video, and I think I didn't explain it quite as much as I wanted to, but in my last video, I was basically saying that if you go over a certain weight, because that video was targeted towards thicker women, if you go over a certain weight, it does become like just too much, right? Like it starts looking sloppy, you start looking sick, and it's the same going on the opposite end of the spectrum, being thin. If you get too thin, you're going to start looking sick. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to stop thinking about the extremes. Like, there is like this epidemic of everybody wanting to become thin. And I feel like we should leave the thin girlies to be the thin girlies. And we should have the full body girlies be full bodied. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we need the muscular baddies who are not overly muscular. In my opinion, I really do not like that look of being like bodybuilder muscular. Like, I'm thinking in my head like the extreme. Okay. I'm not thinking of like women who are just muscular, like because they like to work out. I'm thinking like, you know, maybe she's using the juice, you know, to get really big. Her voice is changing. She's morphing in front of our eyes into the opposite gender. Like, that's what I'm thinking. But what I'm saying is that we need variety. Not everyone is supposed to look the same. Not everyone has the same metabolism. Not everybody has the same hormonal type. And I think we need to just do what is best for our bodies. Once you get to the ideal weight that your body wants to be at, that's when you're going to look the best. Now, in my prior videos, like back, okay, I talked about this. I talked about how if you focus more on building muscle, your body will take the shape that it's supposed to take, right? It will form into the form it should be in, okay? Because the muscle is going to give shape and definition to your body. And I really feel like that's what people need to worry about the most, not just being thin. So I know I went into a whole like breakdown spiel about why thin people need to just stay thin and why thicker people may just literally hold on to weight because that is how their body is functioning. I really do believe that. I am not a, thin dictator over here because I just don't think it looks right on everybody. I really, really don't. And thinness is not something that is, our birthright. Do you know what I mean? Like if we look at, art and pictures from the past, you'll know that, women have always held on to more weight, especially if they have given birth, especially if they are nursing, especially if they have, they're wet nurses. That is normal for us. And it is also normal for some women to just be naturally thin. That is just the reality, okay? It even applies to men. There are some men who need to do more work to be muscular. There are some men who need to do more work to get in the right body shape. You know what I mean? And there's some men who want to gain weight too. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? But I really want thinner women to be okay with the fact that they're naturally thin. A lot of people bash thin women because they want to be thin. They want to be skinny. They want to be a skinny legend. And in my opinion, it's just not for everybody. What I see a lot on social media and in these internet streets is just everybody is just a carbon copy of each other, okay? Everybody's making the same videos. If one person's going on GLP-1, now everyone's got to go on GLP-1. And now they're making videos about why you need to lose weight right now and you need to be skinny. And it's like, what do I need to be skinny for? You know what I mean? Is it a form of privilege? Absolutely. Thin privilege is a thing, okay? But it is not the only thing. And on this channel, I teach about the diversity of privilege. There are different types of privileges that you can, use and utilize in your everyday life. And, it depends on what you want. If what you want requires that you be thin, if you are not able to, utilize other forms of privilege, that may be what you have to do. Look, I'm not knocking you, okay? So that is why I'm giving my evidence-based opinion on why you should really mold your body into what is ideal for your body. And for everybody, it's not being thin, okay? And for the thin girlies, my message to you is that not everyone is supposed to be thick. I see a lot of the thin girlies wanting to get these BBLs and stuff. And hey, if you want to do that and put yourself at risk, if it's worth it for you, hey, everything is a risk, right? If you want to do any kind of procedure, it is going to be a risk, elective or otherwise, right? But I just say this, that you look good skinny, girl. You look good thin. It fits you. It fits your style. It fits your shape. It fits your face. You fit you, right? While I do offer improvements that people can do here on this channel, I am also a firm believer in working with what you have as much as possible. Now, If that means that you need to go to the gym, girl, and, build some muscle, which is what I personally advocate for. And I'm not talking about like being a bodybuilder. I'm literally saying like just going to the gym to help lift the body and give it some structure. That is really what I advocate for when it comes to changing your lifestyle. Eating well so that your skin is pretty. Like there are things that you can do, just do what works with your body. That's what I say. Okay? All right, tell me what you guys think down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.